Okay, next, Molly.
Hi, I'm Molly. I've been singing like in general since like elementary school, and I've been singing Sing for Health for since the beginning of the year in January.
And how old are you, Molly?
I am I'm gonna turn 17. I'm 16 right now.
At the end of this month.
At the end of next month.
Yeah, October 28th. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you go to school, Molly?
I go to Greeley Central.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of far.
And she's quite the thespian.
Yeah. I was like, I think I have something near here, but no, I don't.
What about Megan? Where do you go to school?
Megan, where do you go to school?
I go to Troutcore Knowledge Elementary School.
You're in Fort Collins. So Molly, what do you like most about singing?
I like that it's like an outlet and you can like show people like, I don't know, like messages through it. It's like the same thing with like theater and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And your favorite ice cream?
Oh, I'm sorry. My favorite ice cream flavor is probably just normal chocolate chip.
With a vanilla base or with a vanilla base?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Rhonda.
She has me go last because otherwise I'd take up the whole time. Let's see. As far as taking voice lessons with Sing for Health, I started at the very beginning of 2018. So what is that? About 2 2/3 years, 2 3/4 or so. My background is piano, so I've been singing in choir off and on, for years and years and years. Let me think. What do I like best about it? Kind of like what you said, Molly. It is. It's an outlet. And I tend to be someone who's happiest when I have some tangible goals and something to work toward. And CJ is very, very good, about giving me something, whether it's singing like a SipNSing or introducing some genre of music, vocal literature that I haven't done before, like recitative or anything like that. I just love that. And we could do it anywhere. Sometimes people in the store don't appreciate it when I burst into K Faro or something. Let's see, my favorite flavor of ice cream, dark chocolate / Dutch chocolate. Very, very, very chocolatey. And throw in some salted caramel.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And I am going to hop over to my sister Elena, also a thespian. Okay, Ellen, how long have you been singing?
Oh, since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. A long time, because we sang as children, because our mama was a singer, and we sang in choirs, and so did little performances with our mother. And so, yeah, probably since I was 6 years old. So that's about, 62 years. And I like singing because it's just a great opportunity to, mostly I've done choral singing. It's just a great opportunity to join with others and make music, and have some very dear friends that were choral singers. And my favorite ice cream flavor is Jamocha almond fudge.
Oh. Who makes
yeah,
that?
Baby.
Who makes that?
Well, I think there's numbers, but I had my first Jamocha almond fudge with Baskin Robbins. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what about
you?
So
I'm delighted. I'm not going to sing, but I'm delighted to be the audience member. And because again, all my sisters are kind of professional singers. So audience is what I do best, in addition to chiming in from time to time on a harmony. But I'm a really good audience person.
And she's a good singer too. And I've been singing, yeah, like my sister said, I've been singing. The first thing I remember singing was a solo in church. I think I was about 5. And what I remember is that it was in Holly, Colorado, and a really neat hymn called Jesus Walked This Lonesome Valley. But I remember being so nervous. There was a curtain up on the front of the church, and it was it was kind of only came up to your knees, and I think that was probably its purpose, to hide people's feet who were up on the stage or stage area. Well, anyway, I kept kicking the curtain because I was just nervous. Anyway, and so I've been singing a long time too. And the reason I like singing is our voices are just amazing. I used to be quite proficient at French horn, but when I needed to choose in music if I wanted to specialize in French horn or in singing, I like singing because of the languages. And I love singing in foreign languages, but also the different colors you can get with your voice. And as much as I love French horn, and I still do love it, you know, it's not that you don't have the flexibility that you have with a human voice. So, so that's why I like singing. And my favorite ice cream is pralines and cream.
Mhm.
And so that you can get at Haagen-Dazs, and it's quite tasty. So there you go. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to say, it is, once again, thank you for being here. And I want to encourage you to take advantage of these SipNSings. It is an excellent opportunity just to sing in front of people. And it's very easy because you're just right in your own home. And it's not about perfection. And I don't know whether any of you are receiving my blogs, but I'm blogging more often, and about twice a week. And that's one of the things that one of this week's blogs is about, the SipNSings, and it is about just performance. It is not about perfection. And so the more you do these kind of things, especially for any of us who may want to do an audition online, and Molly, I know that's, you know, you're heading certainly in that direction. When I went to the NATS online conference this summer, NATS is the National Association of Teachers of Singing. One of the things they mentioned, the professionals, they had kind of a panel, and one of the professionals said, virtual auditions is going to be the way it is, at least the first rounds, and even second rounds. So it's really important for people to get used to doing virtual auditions, knowing what makes a good one. And so that's what these SipNSings are all about. One of the things that kind of leads into a technical thing about them, when you're singing and doing partaking in something like this, one of the things you want to do is, as much as possible, make sure that your camera is positioned so that you can see either most of your body. Yeah, Molly, you're standing up, that's great. Or at least like from the waist up. But you want to, what you want to avoid is this, you know, looking down at the camera. You want the camera to really have a good visual of you. Also, if you're going to be doing any staging with your song, you want to be able to step back a little bit away from it so that we can actually see how you're staging, what you're doing as you sing. So those are two things. And also, even looking into the camera sometimes, and I'm not always the best at this. So, you know, right now I'm looking smack dab into this camera, and if I were singing, I could just be singing to that camera and just giving it all the love, because my loved one is in that camera and I'm just singing to it with all my heart. So anyway, so where you're looking as you're singing is important. So, so you may not look all the time there, but you might look away. But by doing this kind of sip and sing, you get used to what it is to sing, to be singing into a camera, or to be having a camera as a focus, even if you're not staring at it all the time. Finally, from a technical point of view, if, and Megan, you're really young for this, and this is your mama and your papa's realm probably, but if the more that you can hardwire your computer to your router, to your modem, the more secure is going to be your connection. Wi-Fi, you have those waves going through the air. So you're going to have a lot of competition. If you have multiple people in your house, accessing that Wi-Fi, that's going to compete. If you're using a microwave, that's going to compete. So, and I've even heard some people, they'll get a really long, even if their router isn't anywhere near the same room, and the router is the thing that connects you to the internet, they will get a really long Ethernet cable, and only when they need to, like in a situation like this, they'll plug it into their computer, and they'll run it to wherever it is, plug it into the modem, and so that way you have a more secure connection. That's another technical thing, and they're not expensive. The Ethernet cables are not expensive. They're like $15 to $20. I think I just got a 25-foot cable for maybe $20 or something. So yeah, and then otherwise you want to just make sure that you're reasonably close to your microphone, whether it's an external microphone or if it's built into your computer. You want to make sure that you're closer to your microphone, for instance, usually than your accompaniment, because while it's important to hear the accompaniment, to hear you is more important. So I think that's about it. Last thing, if you use Facebook and have not joined my musical Facebook page, it's Sing for the Health of It, all written out, Sing for the Health of It. But join that Facebook page, because sometimes I'll post things there that I don't post in a blog and that kind of thing. All righty then. So we just have 3 singers today, and let's see here. And at the end, somebody at the end of today will remind me, and we'll just go over the schedule. I'll do a screen share, and we'll go over the schedule through December. So who would like to sing first? All righty. Okay, Rhonda.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, just let me know where. CJ, may I mention and show my TheraBand?
Sure.
What I've been working on? Okay, hold still for 1 second.
So some of you have seen the ball that expands that I use in the studio, and that's to get the student feeling a sense of expansion around the middle with the inhale. And you want to keep expanded as you sing through a phrase. And what that does technically is it helps the breath feed out more steadily. So, and sometimes we use rib hands. That rib hands does the same thing. So what Ron is going to talk to you a little bit about is using a TheraBand, which is along the lines of keeping those ribs out, keeping a steady stream of air.
Yeah, essentially, but just following up on what CJ has said, most, if not all of the numbers that I have worked on with CJ for the past almost 3 years, it seems like there's a lot of long phrases. And what I'm going to be singing for you, Che farò senza aiuto dice. This one has some really long phrases. And so as a visual, kind of as a visual plus, as the kinesthetic, a body reminder, we started bouncing off ideas, what would work. And I've had quite a bit of physical therapy. You gals, you young ones, Megan and Molly may not have had to have body issues like that. But as you get older, hopefully you won't need it. But if you do, one of the things that physical therapists and perhaps other medical professionals, I don't know, use for strengthening, whether it's your arm or your leg, whatever, are these therabands. And they come in different colors. And the different colors are the different means of resistance. So that's how that works. And I took to a recent lesson of mine with CJ, I took all of these and I said, these are ones I've had over the years. So we tried and played on some of them. I think have resistance a little bit too much. They're a little too thick and tight. And some of them are a little flimsy, would not be a means of aiding my singing presentation. So anyway, I'm not going to sing using this, but I just wanted to demonstrate that by doing this, it's a reminder while, you know, spreading out the phrases. And so anyway, there you go. This kind of stuff's interesting to me. I hope it doesn't bore you too much, what I said. All righty. Is my body positioned okay?
Yeah.
CJ?
Yep.
Right. Okay, so here we're going to start out. This is Que Faro by Gluck. Let's see here. Oh, sorry about that. I need to start over. Sorry about that. Oh, I'll make sure that's loud.
So this is an opera aria, a recitative and aria. Recitative and opera sets up the action, and then the aria is expounding upon a feeling. And so that's what we have. That's what she's doing right now. That's the type of genre we're working with right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really, really fun. Eine dove scorse, dove mi spense, un delirio d'amor. Ascolta, ora dice, consorte, oh, non movive, da chiamo in van. Misero me, la perdo, e di nuovo per sempre. O legge, o morte, o ricordo crudel. Non ho soccorso, non m'avanza consiglio. Io veggio solo, oh fiera vista, il tuo aspetto, dell'orido mio stato. Sacciate sorte rea, son disperato. Che farò senza ora dice, dove andrò senza il mio ben? Che farò, dove andrò? Che farò senza il mio ben? Dove andrò senza il mio ben? Ora dice, oh Dio, risponde, rispondi. Io son pure il tuo fedele. Io son pure il tuo fedele, il tuo fedele. Che farò senza il radice, dove andrò senza il mio bene? Che farò, dove andrò, che farò senza il mio bene? Dove andrò senza il mio bene? Radice, radice. Non avanza più soccorso, più speranza nel mondo. Dolce, che farò senza radice, dove andrò senza il mio bene? Che farò, dove andrò, che farò senza il mio bene? Dove andrò, che farò, dove andrò senza il mio bene? Senza il mio bene, senza il mio bene.
So, Rhonda, tell everybody what this is about.
This is about, as we said, it's taken from an opera. This is a recitative and aria, and it's about a gentleman named Orfeo, and he has just lost his beloved.
And what's her name?
Eurydice. And when one is singing that over the course of one note, it's sort of difficult sometimes to be able to pronounce both of those syllables. It was interesting to me, as CJ was explaining, that in Italian, all of the vowels are pronounced. You gave the example of if we English-speaking people would say L-A-U-R-A, we might say her name is Laura. But you said it would be Laura.
Laura. And it's not really, that's excellent, Rhonda. And it's not really Laura.
Sorry about that.
But what it is, you are pronouncing every vowel. And the only reason why I know that is my first summer doing the Spoleto Festival, which is an international arts festival. And I was doing in the operas. There was a little girl. She was probably like first or second grade, and she was one of the what we call supers. That means people who are on stage and doing stuff, but they don't need to be singing, but they're crucial to the show. And so this little girl's name was Laura, and all these Italians who knew her, because they're just townspeople who are the supers. They were saying Laura, Laura, Laura. You know, and so some people would stress the ooh a little bit, but in general, but you definitely heard Laura, not Laura, Laura. So that was an excellent diction lesson for me with that little girl. So yes, so go ahead, Rhonda. Anything more Well, so this is based on Greek mythology, Orfeo journey to the underworld. What has happened to Eurydice?
She has died, and he is mourning her death. You know, you guys kept hearing I had the returning lyrics of especially on the aria, "Che farò senza Eurydice" was the first line, and that is the English translation is "What will I do without Eurydice?" And then the accompanying follow-up question was "Dove andrò senza il mio ben?" And that is, where will I go without my beloved? And those two complementary musical phrases kind of come back. They present themselves several times.
Yeah.
Would
you go ahead and read the summary in the second paragraph?
I certainly will.
Yeah.
This opera is based on Greek myth. Orfeo, who's Orpheus, the most able musician, descends into the underworld, which is the realm of the dead. Through his songs, he persuades the guards at the gates of Hades to allow him to find his beloved Eurydice there. Kind of sad so far. They agree, but if Orfeo looks at her before they leave Hades, she will die and remain there. Eurydice pleads with Orfeo for a look and will not follow him without it. He reluctantly gives her a glance, and then she, Eurydice, dies. And this aria is Orfeo's lament that his beloved Eurydice has done. And he goes on and says, the reason I sang it, even though it was originally for a guy, is this is a quote unquote pants role, meaning a woman singer portraying a male character, which is a convention in opera. I don't know, is that still true in 20th and 21st century opera? CJ, I know it was back.
In the 18th and 1900s. I don't know whether contemporary operas still use pants rolls. Is there a pants roll in any of Jennifer Higdon's operas?
I don't know. I was just thinking that would be
it's
something I could message her about.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, well, great. Thank you, Rhonda. So that Greek myth, the myth of Orfeo and Eurydice, that's very a classic. And I don't know a lot about Greek classics, but that is one of them. And so you guys, since you're young, Molly and Megan, you will probably be running into that as you continue to grow you'll in different ways. I'm not sure if there's been any kind of musical theater piece created around that plot or not. That might be that's a good question. Mm-hmm. And there are, I think there's another opera that is based, a more contemporary opera, meaning written probably in the 1800s or early 1900s. That was, I think Offenbach maybe wrote an opera based on. So anyway, thank you, Rhonda. Good job.
Thank you. I've worked hard on this.
You have.
I have worked. It's a.
And you've also worked up to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you would not. I don't think you would have been able to sing this a year ago.
Probably.
Or if she sang it, and she had a lesson earlier today, and what the difference that she's experiencing with her voice now, some of those higher notes, it's an E that's the fourth space on the staff. She is now able to sustain those much more easily. Not easily, because it still takes some work, but her voice just is more fluid, and that's because she works hard. And that's the joy of any physical thing. When you're trying to get the coordination, Megan, you're a soccer player, right? So when you're doing drills for soccer, have you run into yet a drill where it just takes you time to maybe some footwork to get that coordination going? And it's the exact same with our voices. So that's why practice, it's all physical. So it's all a physical endeavor. So great job, Rhonda.
CJ, are you going to give a plug for the straw?
No, not right now.
Okay.
We're going to move on. Okay, who would like to sing next? Rhonda, you can go ahead and mute yourself, please. We got 2 singers remaining. Okay, go for it, Megan.
Okay. I'm going to sing Didn't My Lord Deliver Daniel, an African American spiritual. Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? And why not every man? He delivered Daniel from the lion's den, Jonah from the belly of the whale, and the Hebrew children from the fiery furnace. And why not every man? Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? And why not every man? The moon ran down in a purple stream, the sun forbear to shine, and every star will disappear. King Jesus shall be mine. Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? And why not every man? Wind blow east and the wind blow west, it blow like the judgment day. And every soul will never did pray will be glad to pray that day. I set my foot on the gospel ship, and the ship began for to sail. It landed me over on Canaan shore, and I'll never come back no more. Then my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Did my Lord deliver Daniel? And why not every man?
Good job. What do you think, Megan?
I think it was good.
There is not much place to breathe in that piece. There's lots of words. Do you think? Were you aware of that as you kept singing? Were you beginning to be aware of, oh my gosh, where am I going to breathe? And there's lots of words here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Would you be willing to sing it again?
Sure.
Okay, so does anybody else have it before we sing it again? Does anybody else have any comments? Well, do you want to get a drink of water, Megan?
I'm fine.
You're okay? Okay. Yeah, Rhonda. You're still muted. Okay, anybody else have any comments why Rhonda's, she's gonna try to unmute herself?
I just want to say you did really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, well, we're gonna go on, and Rhonda, maybe you can unmute a little bit later. Okay, so this time, Megan, I want to get, there we go. Take your hands, so I'm going to give you a choice. Yeah, do you want to use rib hands, or you can, let's use rib hands. Okay, and so what you're going to do is try to, the purpose of rib hands is when we breathe in, the ribs expand out. And so, and as we sing, we want to keep those ribs expanded. And what that's going to do is that's going to keep our breath feeding nice and steadily. It is similar to if we use a resistance band. Did my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel. And when you do this, you want to actually hold it more around your waist. But this is what we're going to do this time, Megan. I want you ribs around your ribs, and just be aware every time you take a breath, feel those ribs expand, and try to keep them expanded as you sing. Okay? Let's try it again.
Okay. Did my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Did my Lord deliver Daniel? And why not every man? He delivered Daniel from the lion's den, Jonah from the belly of the whale, and the Hebrew children from the fiery furnace. And why not every man? Did my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Did my Lord deliver Daniel? And why not every man? The moon run down in a purple stream, sun forbear to shine, and every star will disappear. King Jesus shall be mine. Did my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Did my Lord deliver Daniel? And why not every man? The wind blow east and the wind blow west, blow like the judgment day, and every soul that never did pray will be glad to pray that day. I set my foot on the gospel ship, and the ship began for to sail. It landed me over on Canaan shore, and I'll never come back no more. Did my Lord deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel? Did my Lord deliver Daniel? And why not every man?
Okay. How did that feel, Megan? Did that feel any different?
It felt like I actually like had time to breathe.
Okay, cool. Did it feel any stronger or weaker, or did you feel like the volume and it was the same in that regard, or?
It was a little bit stronger.
Yeah. Now I had turned my volume up a little bit, but people listening, did it seem any stronger to you? Yeah, yeah, and we can just nod. So yeah, it's always impressive to me what that one little thing, the impact it has on the quality of sound and on the length of the phrase. And Megan, I've had other students your age who really struggled with singing, who always wanted to breathe after deliver. So they would sing, did my Lord deliver Daniel, you know? And so you were able to carry that phrase all the way through. And it makes more sense in terms of the text. Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel? That's the sentence, not didn't my Lord deliver Daniel. So really, really good. Yes, Wanda, she's back.
I think so. I had to, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Megan, I just wanted to applaud how well, in your intonation, how well you stay on pitch. You are, that's obviously somewhere where you've been naturally gifted. So bravo.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very, very nice. Don't stop singing. Just sing everywhere you can. Stick with Miss CJ.
Okay, Megan, anything else from you? Cool. Really, really good job. And I'm so thankful. This is your first time. So I'm so thankful that you chose to sing. Very cool. Neat. All righty. Miss Molly.
Hi guys. Okay, Sorry, my computer turned off. That's so much to live up to. Everyone seems so cool.
But it's so neat having the different age groups here.
Yeah. It's like, okay. Hello, my name is Molly Mayo. Today I'm going to be singing Johnny One Note from Babes in Arms, words by Lawrence Hart, and music by Richard Rogers. Thank you. Johnny could only sing one note, and the note he sang was this. Ah, poor Johnny One Note sang out with gusto and just overlorded the place. Poor Johnny One Note yelled willy-nilly until he was blue in the face. For holding one note was his ace. Couldn't hear the brass, couldn't hear the drum. He was in a class by himself by gum. Poor Johnny One Note got in Aida, indeed a great chance to be brave. He took his one note, howled like the north wind, brought forth wind that made critics rave. While Verdi turned round in his grave, couldn't hear the flute or the big trombone. Everyone was mute, Johnny stood alone. Cats and dogs stopped yapping, lions in the zoo all were jealous of Johnny's big trill. Thunderclaps stopped clapping, traffic ceased its roar, and they tell us Niagara stood still. He stopped the train whistles, boat whistles, steam whistles, cop whistles, all whistles bowed to his skill. Sing Johnny One Note, sing out with gusto, and just overwhelm all the crowd. So sing Johnny One Note out loud. Sing Johnny One Note. Sing Johnny One Note out loud.
Great job. So what'd you think?
Yeah, I've been struggling with the last note, but I feel like it's getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing that I have struggled with is the long ah. I think they're also getting better. So,
Yeah.
I think they're good.
And with that, I'm not sure. Sometimes when you hold a note with these on a computer, a virtual situation like this, it peters out over time, which I don't think has anything to do with the singer. I've noticed that. So yes, you still need to work on keeping those ribs out. And another thing we talked about with Molly on that is not spraying the crowd, but so having some interest as you're just holding this long note. And since Johnny, I think appears to be somewhat of an exhibitionist. What do you think? What do you think, Molly?
Yeah.
Just a wee bit. So he's the kind of, if he's up there singing a long note, he's going to milk it for all it's worth. Anything else, Molly, before we open it to the floor?
I don't think so.
Okay. Comments? Anyone else? Yes, Rhonda.
Molly, I could tell, I think I could probably have been able to tell, even without CJ mentioning at the beginning about your thespian background. And I really appreciated the motions and the gestures that you put in. And I was thankful, and I've heard this song a time or two before, but I'm not extremely familiar with it, but I was so thankful that the tempo was slow enough in the part where it mentioned the trombone, that you could actually gesture rather than making it look really stupid because the tempo was too fast and it would have been very difficult to put in gestures. So bravo. I appreciate that. Keep up the good work. That's a good foundation.
Any other comments? Okay, so I got a comment or two. In the B section, pa, 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 dee, dee, da, da, dum. Remember that's in a minor key. Da, da, dum. So you gotta watch that, da, 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 that minor, that half step. Da, da, that's a whole step. Da, dum, da, da, dum, bum, 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 bum. That was one thing. And then, you know, all of my students know that we're working with intervals, and that's an ongoing thing, interval accuracy, pitch accuracy. And that's this great thing about this piece with the train whistle. And I don't have the music. Boy, that's just an interval exercise in itself. Going from a third, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, minor seventh, major seventh, and then the octave. So I just love that about this song. And so good job. It can even be sharper. What was the other thing? Oh, everybody, what did you think about her diction? Could you understand what she was saying? Me too. Really good. That's critical. And it's also critical. I mean, anytime we sing, we want people to understand what we're saying. But in musical theater and in contemporary stuff, it's more speech-like diction. So we train whistle, you know, and so we have the freedom and the responsibility to be really clear in our pronunciation. So excellent on that, Molly.
Thank you.
So now you've just been studying since the beginning of the year. Have you noticed much change in your voice or in what you can do?
Yes. I think at the beginning I was pretty bad at breathing, which I still need work on, but I've gotten way better. I remember because now I'm working on belting basics. So I remember at the beginning of the year I was like, I'm never gonna be able to belt. I'm too quiet. I can't do that.
Yeah, you were pretty quiet.
yeah. But I think I'm getting better.
You are.
I'm excited about that.
Tons. Yeah, your voice, you really have grown a lot. Good work. Okay, now since we're a small group, now I'm going to get a little personal here, but that's what this is about, being better. Okay, so your bangs are cute, but when you're performing, you want, have you heard this before, Molly?
Yeah, they're a little long too, right?
They are. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. So if your hair is hanging down on your face, first of all, and if there's any lighting from above, it's going to cast a shadow over your face. So you want your hair to be off the face as much as possible.
Yeah.
So, and Molly, for you, I think you should just take the bangs and get a little rubber band and just do.
Oh yeah, a unicorn horn. Yeah.
Just kidding. Okay, really good job, guys. I'm just going to pull out. I think I'm going to pull out. Let me see if I can do a share screen. Yes. Okay. Everybody see this?
Yes.
Okay, so this is from your this is from the email that I sent out that had the studio policies, and I'm going to scroll right down to, don't get sick from me scrolling, to the schedule. So here we go. August is gone. September is now gone. So next thing we have in October, the next time to sing is October 10th. And remember, doesn't need to be memorized. I think most of you today when you sang, it was all memorized. Not you, Rhonda, yet, but Molly, was that mostly memorized?
Yeah, I had the book in my hand in case I wanted to
Yeah.
look at it. Because I was singing it before the Zoom call, and I kept forgetting Aida, and I would just skip that whole phrase, and I was like, if I mess this up, I'm
Yeah.
gonna lose.
So these do not have to be memorized, but I would encourage you, the more you sing on these Sip and Sings, have it as a goal. The next one, I'm going to sing it memorized. You can sing the same thing. You don't have to sing something different each time. Use it to keep building your confidence and to just be improving your performance. On the 24th, we're going to have a Celebrate Autumn theme. So you all are already working on your songs. That could be something that has to do with Halloween, the season of autumn, or Thanksgiving. And right now we have a couple of those covered, so that's pretty cool. And if you have a friend that friends or family members who want to sit in and want to watch, they are more than welcome. If you have any singing friends, Molly, I know you do, who might want to join and sing, that would be okay. So we can talk more about that. And then in November, we have we just have one in November because of Thanksgiving. And so that's going to be on the 14th. And then going into December, the 12th, Sounds of the Season Soiree. A soiree is a musical gathering. And there's a good chance we'll be doing it virtually, kind of like this. If it seems the coast is clear, I'm used to doing these in person. But we may not be able to do that because of COVID this year. And then we have the Christmas break. So, stop share, we come back, hello. So that's the schedule through year end. Any questions, any thoughts about all that stuff?
I'm eager to hear Ellen sing. Now I know CJ's going to be singing, has sung, and may sing, hopefully.
We might be able to get her to sing a jazz standard sometime.
Oh, I would love that. Molly, Megan, would you enjoy hearing Ellen?
Maybe we'll do a duet or something. Baby, it's cold outside. It's the guy and the women singing. And I was a second alto and a tenor, so I could probably do the guy part without too much trouble. But I did want to share that the Kennedy Center tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern is doing a production with Renee Fleming and Vanessa Williams. It is $15. I just looked online, but that gives you digital access through 2020. And so they will have 40 people in the audience, socially distanced, but it's going to be live from the Kennedy Center. I was listening to them interviewed on NPR this morning, so I just wanted to share that. And the first song they're going to sing is Sting's song, Fragile. I don't know whether any of you know it. It's an absolutely gorgeous, if you haven't heard it, Google it. He wrote it right around the time that 9/11 happened. Because we were putting together a video at the organization where I worked, and I wanted to use that song, but it's a really spectacular song. So they're gonna open with that song. It's kind of an unlikely pairing, and yet I guess they're good friends, and they came up with this idea over a quarantini, and then had to figure out what venue might allow them to do it. And I guess Renee Fleming is actually on the board of the Kennedy Center or something. So yeah. So I just want to get a little plug in case that you want to, and I'm sure even if you can't watch it live stream, it'll be taped and you can access it later.
Yeah.
So that would be 6 p.m. Mountain Time. 8 p.m. Eastern is 6 p.m. Mountain.
Yep.
Okay, any other comments before we bid each other adieu? Good job, you guys. Good job.
Excellent.
So we will see you at your lessons this week. And thanks. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
All
Have a
right.
good weekend, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Are you going to stay on, Ellen? We'll have a little chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good to see you,
Bye, Rhonda.
Rhonda.
Thank you. Thank you for being